Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel.
Hi, guys. So happy to have you here with us again today.
Today we're answering a question honestly, no exaggeration, no sugarcoating. Is English actually hard?
And the honest answer is it's complicated. Some parts are genuinely easy, some parts are genuinely hard. Let's be completely honest today.
Welcome back everyone. I'm David.
And I'm Emma, and let's do this as a real debate. Easy points versus hard points, completely balanced.
Let's start with an easy point. English grammar structure is genuinely simple compared to many languages.
True, no grammatical gender, simple verb forms, predictable word order. These are real, genuine advantages.
Now, let's be honest about a hard point. English spelling is genuinely inconsistent, and that's a real valid difficulty.
Completely true. Through, though, tough, thought, all look similar but sound completely different. That's genuinely confusing and no exaggeration.
Why does spelling cause this much difficulty specifically compared to other areas?
Because English absorbed words from so many different languages over history French, Latin, German, Old Norse, each bringing different spelling patterns along with them.
So it's genuinely a historical mess, not a poorly designed system on purpose.
Exactly. And understanding that history doesn't make spelling easier, but it does make the inconsistency feel less personal, less like you're doing something wrong.
So right away, we see this isn't a simple, easy, or hard answer. It's genuinely both, depending on the specific area.
Let's continue this honest debate. Next easy point, verb conjugation is very simple.
Agreed, completely. I go, you go, we go, they go. Almost no change at all across different subjects.
Next hard point, though, English has an enormous number of irregular verbs.
This is completely true and genuinely frustrating for learners. Go becomes went, eat becomes ate. No clear, predictable pattern at all.
How many irregular verbs are we talking about roughly?
Around 200 commonly used irregular verbs, each needing individual memorization since they don't follow the normal add-ed pattern.
That's genuinely a real difficulty, and we shouldn't pretend otherwise, just to sound positive.
Is there any silver lining here at all, honestly?
Actually, yes, a small one. The most commonly used irregular verbs, go, have, do, say, get, appear so frequently that repetition alone helps you memorize them faster than the less common ones.
So frequency of use genuinely helps offset some of this difficulty, even though the difficulty itself is completely real.
Exactly. Honest balance again. Real difficulty, but also a real practical path through it.
Exactly. Honesty matters more than false positivity here. Let's continue. Next easy point, tons of borrowed familiar vocabulary exists already.
True, many English words already exist in other languages. Technology terms, brand names, common expressions.
Next hard point though, English has an enormous number of idioms and phrasal verbs which don't follow logical patterns at all.
This is genuinely difficult. Break a leg, give up, look forward to. None of these can be understood by translating word for word.
How big of a challenge do idioms really present, honestly?
Quite significant, honestly. There are thousands of idioms in English, and native speakers use them constantly without even noticing.
Let's talk about phrasal verbs specifically too, because I think they deserve their own honest discussion.
Oh, phrasal verbs are genuinely one of the hardest parts of English. Give up, give in, give out, give away. Same base verb, completely different meanings.
Why are phrasal verbs specifically so difficult compared to regular vocabulary?
Because the meaning often has nothing to do with the individual words. Look forward to has nothing literally to do with looking or forward direction.
Do native speakers realize how confusing this is for learners?
Honestly, most don't, because phrasal verbs feel completely natural and automatic to native speakers, learned unconsciously since childhood.
Is there any honest strategy that helps with idioms and phrasal verbs specifically?
Yes, actually, learning them grouped by topic helps a lot. All the give phrasal verbs together, all the emotion idioms together, rather than one giant random list.
Why does grouping by topic make such a difference?
Because your brain naturally connects related patterns more easily than isolated, unconnected facts. So grouping creates useful mental shortcuts.
So, this is a real, genuine area where English becomes significantly harder, especially for advanced, natural sounding fluency.
Let's continue our honest debate. Next easy point. English pronunciation uses relatively common, familiar sounds.
True, generally speaking, compared to languages with unusual tonal or throat sounds.
Next hard point, though, English has enormous accent variation across different countries and even different regions within the same country.
That's genuinely a fair, honest point. American, British, Australian, Indian, South African, Irish, so many legitimate variations exist.
How much does this accent variation actually complicate learning, honestly?
Quite a lot, especially for listening comprehension. A learner comfortable with one accent might genuinely struggle understanding a completely different one at first.
Is there a silver lining to this specific difficulty too?
Actually, yes. Once your ear adjusts to multiple accents, your overall listening skill becomes remarkably flexible, more flexible than learners of languages with less regional variation.
That's a fair, balanced way to look at it. Genuine difficulty, but genuine long-term benefit too, once you push through it.
Next hard point though, English has many similar sounding words that mean completely different things.
There. Right. These genuinely confuse learners, and even some native speakers occasionally.
How significant is this specific difficulty, honestly?
It matters more for writing than speaking, honestly, since these words sound identical but look different on paper.
Can you give a few more examples of these confusing word pairs?
Sure. Two. Here. Weather. All sound similar or identical but mean completely different things.
That's genuinely a lot to keep track of, especially for someone still building basic vocabulary.
It is, but the good news is, context almost always makes the correct meaning clear, even without perfect spelling knowledge.
That's a fair, honest distinction. Speaking difficulty versus writing difficulty being genuinely different challenges.
Let's talk about tenses now, because I think this deserves real honest discussion too.
English has 12 main tenses: past, present, future, each with simple, continuous, and perfect forms.
Is this genuinely difficult, or does it just look complicated on paper?
Honestly, both. The concept behind each tense is usually simple, but keeping all 12 straight, especially in real-time conversation, is genuinely challenging.
Is there any good news here too, like with irregular verbs?
Actually, yes. In real everyday conversation, only about 4 or 5 of those 12 tenses get used constantly. The rest appear much less often, especially in casual speech.
So a learner doesn't need to master all 12 equally right from the beginning.
Exactly. Simple present, simple past, and present continuous cover the vast majority of daily conversation. The rarer tenses can wait until later in your journey.
That's such a relieving, practical piece of honest information.
It really is. This whole video keeps revealing the same pattern. Real difficulty exists, but it's rarely as overwhelming as it first appears once you look closely.
Which specific tenses cause the most confusion in your experience teaching?
Present perfect, definitely. I have eaten versus I ate. This distinction doesn't exist clearly in many other languages and causes real confusion.
Can you explain that difference simply for anyone confused right now?
Sure, I ate breakfast tells us it's finished, done, at a specific time. I have eaten breakfast focuses more on the current result, that you're not hungry now.
That's a genuinely subtle difference, isn't it?
It really is, and subtle differences like this are exactly what make advanced English genuinely challenging, even for otherwise strong learners.
So, tenses represent a genuinely hard area, not just an imagined difficulty.
Completely agreed, honestly. This is one area where English genuinely earns its difficult reputation.
Let's talk about prepositions too, because I think this might be one of the hardest areas overall.
Oh, prepositions are genuinely brutal, honestly. Interested in, good at, afraid of. There's rarely a clear, logical rule explaining which preposition goes where.
Why are prepositions so genuinely difficult specifically?
Because they're often arbitrary, memorized individually, rather than following consistent, predictable patterns like some other grammar areas.
Can you give an example where a small preposition change completely changes the meaning?
Sure, look at means observing something. Look for means searching for something. Look after means taking care of someone. Same verb, three completely different meanings.
That's genuinely tricky and honestly quite unforgiving compared to some of the easier grammar areas we mentioned earlier.
Let's talk about articles too. A and the, because I think this is another genuinely hard area, especially for speakers of languages without articles at all.
Why are articles so confusing specifically?
Because the rules feel logical sometimes, but inconsistent other times. I saw a dog versus I saw the dog. The difference is subtle, about specificity, and easy to get wrong.
Do these article mistakes usually block communication, though?
Rarely, actually. Missing or wrong articles almost never confuse a native listener. They just sound slightly unusual without blocking the actual meaning.
That's a good, honest distinction. A real difficulty, but a relatively low stakes one, communication wise.
Exactly, and that's a pattern we're noticing throughout this whole honest debate. Several hard areas exist, but most don't seriously block real communication.
So if someone asked us, honestly, what's the hardest part of English, what would we say?
Honestly, I'd say prepositions, idioms, and irregular verbs combined together represent the genuinely hardest areas of English.
I'd agree completely with that honest assessment.
Let's balance this out though, because we've covered a lot of hard points now. Let's return to some genuine strengths too.
Fair point. Despite tenses, prepositions, and idioms being genuinely hard, basic communication remains genuinely accessible even with these gaps.
That's such an important balancing point. You can communicate clearly, make yourself understood even without perfectly mastering every preposition or idiom.
Right, these hard areas matter more for advanced, polished fluency than for basic functional communication.
Exactly, and that's honestly a really important distinction for beginners specifically watching this video right now.
Let's talk about this distinction more directly. What's the difference between functional English and advanced English?
Functional English lets you communicate clearly, get your needs met, have real conversations, even with some grammar mistakes.
And advanced English?
Advanced English adds nuance, natural idioms, perfect tense usage, precise prepositions, the polish that comes with years of practice.
So for someone just starting, which level should they honestly focus on first?
Functional English completely. Don't stress about mastering every preposition or idiom immediately. Basic communication comes first. Polish comes later.
That's such an honest, practical piece of advice.
It really is. A lot of learners get discouraged trying to master advanced difficulty before they've even built basic functional confidence.
Can you give a real example comparing functional versus advanced English side by side?
Sure. Functional, I go store yesterday, buy food. Advanced, I went to the store yesterday and picked up some groceries. Both genuinely communicate the same message.
So even the functional version, with mistakes, succeeds at its actual job, real communication.
Exactly, and that's honestly the most important reassuring point in this entire video. Communication succeeds long before grammar becomes perfect.
Let's give our honest final verdict now. Is English actually hard?
Honestly, grammar structure genuinely easier than many languages. Spelling, tenses, prepositions, and idioms genuinely harder than many learners expect.
So it's not a simple yes or no answer, is it?
Not at all. English is a genuine mix, easier in some real measurable ways, harder in other real measurable ways.
How would you honestly rank English difficulty compared to other languages overall?
Compared to languages with complex grammar, like heavy noun cases or grammatical gender, English is genuinely easier overall in terms of raw grammar complexity.
But compared to languages with more phonetic, predictable spelling?
English genuinely loses that comparison. Some languages, you can read a word and know exactly how to pronounce it every single time without exceptions.
So the honest ranking really does depend on which specific skill we're measuring, doesn't it?
Exactly, and that's honestly the whole point of this video. Is English hard is genuinely the wrong question. Which parts of English are hard is the honest, useful question instead.
What would you say to someone who feels frustrated, believing English should either be completely easy or completely impossible?
I'd say drop that all or nothing thinking completely. English has real challenges and real advantages existing honestly side by side.
That's such a mature, balanced way to think about this whole topic.
It really is. And honestly, I think this balanced view helps learners more than either extreme, false positivity or exaggerated negativity.
Let's talk about practical advice now, based on this honest, balanced assessment.
First, accept that some areas, prepositions and idioms specifically, simply require patient, gradual memorization over time.
Second,
Second, don't judge your overall progress by these specific hard areas alone. Basic grammar simplicity still gives you a genuine advantage overall.
third,
Third, focus on functional communication first and let advanced polish develop naturally through real practice over real time.
fourth.
Fourth, be patient specifically with irregular verbs and idioms. These genuinely require repetition and exposure, not just one-time memorization.
Is there a fifth piece of advice too?
Yes. Fifth, learn prepositions and phrasal verbs inside real phrases, not as isolated words. Interested in as one complete unit sticks much better than in alone.
Why does learning them as complete chunks work so much better?
Because your brain stores the whole natural pattern together rather than trying to logically deduce a rule that honestly doesn't consistently exist.
That's such a practical, useful final tip to end on.
There's one more worth adding too. 6. Expose yourself to multiple accents early, rather than sticking to just one, so your listening skill becomes flexible sooner.
How would someone practically do that, starting today?
Simply alternate your listening content. One day, British content. Another day, American. Another day, Australian. Small, consistent exposure builds real flexibility over time.
That's such a comprehensive, honest set of practical advice to end on today.
It really is, and honestly, I think every single one of these 6 tips applies specifically to the hard areas we discussed, not just general advice.
It really is, and it applies to almost every genuinely hard area we discussed today. Tenses, idioms, prepositions all benefit from chunk-based learning.
Let's do a quick recap of everything today, because repetition really helps beginners remember.
English grammar structure, genuinely simple. English spelling, tenses, prepositions, and idioms, genuinely challenging. No exaggeration either way.
The honest answer, English is neither purely easy nor purely hard. It's a real, honest mix of both, and that's completely okay.
Functional communication comes relatively quickly. Advanced, polished fluency takes real, patient time, and that's a completely normal, expected journey.
So, is English actually that hard? We'd say, honestly, it depends which specific part you're asking about.
And whichever part feels hardest for you personally, please remember that difficulty is real, valid, and shared by millions of other learners exactly like you.
You're not failing. You're simply encountering the genuinely hard parts right alongside the genuinely easy parts, exactly like every successful English speaker before you.
Now, we want to hear from you. Comment below, which part of English do you personally find hardest? Prepositions, idioms, tenses, spelling.
And which part do you find genuinely easy? We read every single comment, and honestly, we love seeing this honest debate continue down there.
And honestly, if this honest answer helped you today, the single most helpful thing you can do for us is hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because every follow genuinely helps this channel keep growing.
The more of you who support us by subscribing, liking, and sharing this with a friend who's also learning English, the more resources we have to keep making honest, balanced videos like this one, made specially for beginners just like you.
So if you found this helpful, take 2 seconds right now, hit subscribe, tap that bell, and share this with someone who needs it too. It genuinely makes a difference, and it's the reason we can keep making these videos for you.
Thank you so much for being here today. We'll see you in the next one.